Hi, this is Grace Chamolu from Product Management Festival. Thank you so much for joining us today for this information session on the Product Management Executive Program. At any time during this session, feel free to submit questions on the chat window to the side, or feel free to send email to exec@productmanagementfestival.com. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Switch over to my slides. What is the Product Management Executive Program? It's an accelerated executive level leadership development and advanced product management program and is brought to you by Product Management Festival and INSEAD. Today, what I'll be talking about is the program and a little bit more about it. Who is it for? How you would benefit from it, the faculty affiliated with it, as well as a sample schedule, some of the feedback we've heard about the program, and also how to apply and a little bit more about the logistics around that. For those of you who don't know us, PMF is an organization whose mission is to amplify the impact of product management globally, not only the products themselves, but also on their organizations, and to help product managers be more successful. We had been hearing from the people we meet through our conferences and local initiatives that there was a desire and need for more resources and training, not just for the standard product management and leadership topics, but also for areas more relevant at the executive level. As product managers' careers progress, their roles shift to start focusing on more strategic areas, such as shaping and influencing the organization. Therefore, the standard PM education becomes insufficient at this point. And so we partnered with INSEAD, a leader in executive education and the #1 ranked international business school 2 years in a row by Financial Times. So with this program, you will be able to gain the tools, knowledge, and know-how to lead effectively and to amplify your impact on the organization. Our upcoming program session will be in the INSEAD Asia campus, which is in Singapore, on the 17th to the 21st of September. We did just wrap up one on the Fontainebleau, France campus last month, and we are looking to schedule something, and we're finalizing it right now, for at the end of this year, possibly early next year. I will make a quick note here because I get asked this question a fair bit. Each program is independent of the other. You do not need to travel to both campuses to complete the program. Who is this program for? This program is for current and rising product management executives. It will be relevant to those who are transitioning into the executive level and wish to accelerate their learning or be more aware of what areas will need to be developed, such as a different level of communication or execution as they make their next career move. It's also for current product management executives who wish to refine their executive level skills. Sometimes we don't have the benefit of a mentor, and on-the-job training can only go so far, especially if you're entering uncharted territory with the company. This program can help expose you to additional tools, scenarios, experiences, and processes that could help you. We will also be covering advanced product management topics, so it will be taught at the level of someone who already has a fair number of years in product management, or at least exposure. How would this program benefit you? I'll go through 5 reasons, but there are certainly many more. The first is acknowledging and developing your leadership style so you can lead yourself and your organization through growth and change. At the executive level, you have so much more power, but as the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. So it's critical you understand your leadership style and how you impact others. And you can develop your capacity to exercise your leadership effectively and responsibly within your organization, because then you can better understand how to affect change. As product managers progress in their careers, their responsibilities start to shift. We rely on our ability to lead through the organization, ability to influence and navigate through networks, and to get the job done. At the executive level, this ability to lead and influence continues, and with greater impact. If you thought being a product manager was tough, having all that responsibility with no authority, just think of how it will be having to influence stakeholders at the executive level, and who are all your peers. I found this quote from a Forbes article and thought it insightful. The dynamics will change. You're a leader to a group of leaders. The second benefit is effectively building, developing, and retaining your teams. And that requires an understanding of your impact on group dynamics. I think it goes without saying that it's pretty hard to grow and develop a product team if you don't have a good hold on retention. Turnover costs can range from 93 to 200% of an exiting employee's salary. And I'll also note that this is from an article that's titled, Voluntary Turnover. They usually leave their bosses and not their jobs. If you need to scale your team, retention is key. But this is not just about being a good manager. This is also about understanding your impact on group dynamics, on how to effectively use your networks, on how to scale a team in a sustainable way, and how to develop and manage product management culture. Most of us need to work hard to learn how to be good and effective managers and leaders. And as that responsibility grows, I challenge you to strive to be the executive that great team members want to work with, or be the executive that you would want to work with. Complementing the leadership sessions, we will have product management specific sessions that are taught by guest speakers who are currently heading up their product management organizations at their own companies. They will give you insight into what they've learned, their successes and mistakes, and provide you with practical, actionable information that you can apply or look into applying once you get back home. Some of us don't have the benefit of mentors, especially at the executive level where there are fewer PM execs. Or there are mentors available at the executive level, but they don't have insight into what product management specific challenges you might face. This program can help with that. And while many of us learn from on-the-job training, which I am a big fan of, sometimes we don't have the luxury of time to learn from our mistakes. Sometimes we also don't have the financial leeway to make too many large-scale mistakes. So learn from those who have come before you. And as I like to think of it, don't repeat mistakes that you can already sidestep. If you're going to go make mistakes, go make new ones you can learn from. Another benefit of the program is the focus on critical softer skills that are often overlooked. Many feel like they've worked on areas like communications, negotiations, networking, and think they're all set. But these are skills that always could use refining. And now you're in an executive role where you're communicating with groups you may not have had to before. A board, investors, strategic partners, the press. Your words have farther reach and bigger implications and impact. Your communication could potentially affect stock price, landing or losing a key client or partner, trigger a lawsuit, which may be a little bit more extreme, but the list can go on. You'll need to be ever mindful of your communication style and other soft skills. This program will help you refine and strengthen those skills and increase your self-awareness so you can maximize those soft skills to your advantage. Finally, I think we've probably all have already heard about how important it is to network. Most organizations don't have teams of product managers around, so oftentimes we hear how PMs feel they're alone in their situations. But after meeting other PMs, such as an event like PMF or a local meetup group, or reading articles and books, they realize that many of their problems are actually being experienced by so many others too. This program will be bringing senior level product managers together. You will not only learn from the faculty, but also from each other. You'll become part of a community from which you will reap the benefit for years to come. This program is not possible without our faculty. Our program director is Noah Askin, who is an assistant professor of organizational behavior at INSEAD, and he teaches the executive education classes as well as the organizational design and leadership courses in the core MBA program. He's also received the Dean's Commendation of Teaching Excellence. We also have guest speakers who are product management executives at their respective organizations who will be sharing their lessons learned with you. In the interest of time, I won't go through every name right now, but you can find this information also online on our website. Here is a view to a sample program schedule that we have. The program is split within the week with 3 days that are executive leadership sessions, and those are led by Noah. And then 2 days, the ones in the dark green, are more product management specific sessions. And the classes and the sessions will all be taught in a mixture of styles: lecture, cases, workshops, group exercises, and some of the topics include self-reflection and self-assessment about your leadership style, understanding your power and status and informal authority and how you can impact your teams and organization through that, building your network, negotiations, also stakeholder management and scaling the PM organization and scaling the product. There's and metrics, managing impact of measuring the impact of things through OKRs and KPIs, especially when you need to manage the impact at scale. And in the evenings, there'll also be a mixture of events, dinners, social networking activities. The program, just to be noted, is generally about a full day, so call it 8:30 to 5 from that standpoint when it comes to the classroom curriculum. So one question that we get a lot of is what the feedback has been about the program. So I'd like to share some brief highlights with you. This is our class from the program that just wrapped up in France. Of the 25 participants in that group, we had 9 C-levels, 4 were CPOs, and the others were CTOs, CMOs, COOs who had product reporting into them. We also had 7 vice president and heads of product levels, and 5 director and senior PM levels as well. They came from throughout Europe, US, and Russia, and hailed from companies such as Booking.com, WeTransfer, Zipcar, Shipstead, and many others. The program received an NPS score of 87.5. And when we asked what was the single most important reason behind recommending the program, here are a few examples of the reasons cited. We were hearing the content is precisely for product leaders, no wasting of time with completely unrelated topics. There was so much knowledge, valuable knowledge in just the 5 days. There's the quality of the sessions and the quality of the participants and the discussions with them. It's a very stimulating program, group experience. We have a lot of this type of sentiment that was shared with us and a deep appreciation for being able to provide such an interesting mix of academic versus practical experience, a cohort that is very similar in terms of the types of problems that they may be facing, though all their backgrounds may be different, coming from different types of companies, industries, backgrounds, countries. And so it was one of those where the mixture was very, very good for the class participants, and a lot of value was received out of it. So how can you be a part of this unique program? To apply for the program, you can visit our website off the PMF page, productmanagementfestival.com, or email us for the application at exec@productmanagementfestival.com. Applications are due to INSEAD by the deadline for the respective program. We have listed these deadlines on the website as well. And just so you know, for the September program, the applications are due the 30th of July. We have, after that, after you apply, the school will send out admissions notifications decisions by a certain date, depending on the program you apply for. And so, for example, the 8th of August would be for the September program. These dates are also listed online as well. But at any point in time, if you have any questions about the process, the application, the deadlines, any of those, once again, feel free to reach out to us at exec@productmanagementfestival.com. So just to recap in a nutshell, the next program that we have coming up is the one in Singapore, the 17th to 21st of September. And this will be at the INSEAD Asia campus. And we are finalizing our schedule for the next one. That'll be in Fontainebleau, France. It is a 5-day program with 3 days covering executive leadership and another 2 days covering advanced product management specific topics. The program is €9,200, and you can find more information and download the application from our program website, which you can find at productmanagementfestival.com. And then there's a link for the INSEAD program. As we wrap up, I wanted to share a graphic that I saw courtesy of Professor Askin from a presentation he did recently on the skills needed for a product manager. And he encapsulates very well what is needed to be a successful senior level product manager. It's the brain of an engineer, it's the heart of a designer, and the tongue of a diplomat. And my personal favorite, the herding skills of an Australian shepherd. We understand the types of challenges you face as a product manager. And this program can help you become a stronger product management executive and help you amplify your impact on the organization. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us for today's information session. As I mentioned, feel free to reach out to us at any time for questions at exec@productmanagementfestival.com. With that, I'll go ahead and turn it over for questions. So one of the, I received a couple that were also ahead of time. So I also covered that as well as some that we get quite often. One of the ones that we get asked a fair bit is, what does the tuition cover? So the tuition covers the program sessions, the program materials. The school actually uses an online tool to provide all of the materials from which there will be either the pre-readings or information that is needed during the class, as well as the catering. It does not include accommodations. And so that was a question that we also were just asked about. So the accommodations would be the financial responsibility of the participant. The school does have an association with hotels that are very close by, and so oftentimes there is more of a official hotel for the program. And so the school does make a reservation on the participant's behalf, so that we ensure that you actually have a place to stay when you're here. However, that is something that the school does on your behalf for the reservations part, but you would still be financially responsible for it upon checkout. Should you wish to and prefer staying elsewhere, you are welcome to as well. But just note that many of the meetup times and places is usually around that hotel. And so we encourage you to stay at the official place or at least very close by so that you can participate in many of the other activities. Which brings me into another question that we've gotten about after class programs. So as I mentioned in the sample program that I showed, there's some evening activities. So there will be an opening closing dinner, for example, and there's usually at least another social networking activity, perhaps a networking cocktail. But the idea is that we're not going to try to jam pack every night to have something. There will be some that will be a little bit of a free time, of course, but otherwise we also want to provide plenty of opportunity to also allow you to just relax and get to know one another in a little bit more of a social environment, have a little decompression time, and just reflect on things that were discussed during that the earlier days sessions. It is not mandatory to attend the social activities, of course, but we would strongly encourage you to participate in them, because this is just one of those times when we're all so busy, but you have made the investment to come for 5 days. And it is a wonderful and excellent time for you to be able to take advantage of the network opportunity, and be able to learn, exchange ideas from each other, and also to be able to talk to whether it's NOAA or the guest lecturers as well, outside of a classroom setting. And another question that we've received before is the guest faculty, if they're always the same ones at each program. And it is not, because they are guest faculty that are actually running their own PM organizations. They are coming depending on their availability. So not each one will always be at every single program. It will be dependent on who is able to make it out due to their schedules. And sometimes we also feel like if it has something that's very specific to the region that a particular topic is also relevant to, that also may help impact things. So the programs themselves are also not always completely identical. We do try to make it appropriate for the guest lectures that are coming and the region that we're in, and just trying to make sure it's just it's very valuable to our participants. And so at the end of the day, what you'll get is a program that's 5 days that'll provide you a really nice mix of executive leadership and product management. And it's a very specific, tailored program to product management executives and those who are currently or rising executives, so that we can help you really maximize the impact that you can have on your organization. So with that, I'll go ahead and wrap up our information session for today. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, feel free to reach out to us. We also have a few more information sessions coming up for this month. That'll be next Thursday at 3, and then the following Tuesday at the same time. Today at 11, all Central European time. Otherwise, we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you very much.